NFL Week 9, the prop line. Andy, Corbin, and Jim are going to break down all of the props. Hope everyone has a safe and happy and profitable Halloween. Let's get right into it. We're going to start with Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans here. Corbin, I'll come to you first. Tough defensive game here. Any props that you like?
Yeah, I watched most of the Texans game last week for McCaffrey-related props. We'll get onto that later, but their defense is legit. There's two props I've got in this game. First is Evan Ingram. We just got to keep riding him. I don't like his yards this week just because of how tough the defense is, but I can go back to his receptions over 3.5. I think this ends up being a tight game. I don't see a world in which the Broncos are ahead in this game at the minute. He's gone over 3.5 receptions in 5 straight. I think you can also use 3 receptions as a good parlay piece, just because of how tough the defense is. But I think that the toughness in the defense will lock up the wide receivers more so and might give Evan Ingram some opportunities in the receptions game. So I really like that one. My second is Woody Marks over 13.5 receiving or 2.5 receptions at plus money. The Texans still struggle to run the ball. The Broncos defense is good, but it's kind of tapered off in the last couple of weeks, I feel like. Went for 49 last week, 4 receptions, which I find quite funny. If you look at his longest, he actually had a long of 50 yards and ended up with 49 yards. So he clearly lost on his other couple of receptions. He clearly lost some yards there. Week before he had 3 for 20, then he had 0, and then the week before he had 4 for 50. So last kind of 4 weeks, it looks like his progression is definitely going up. I know there's injuries around that team. He's definitely going to be involved in the receiving game, I think. So yeah, they're my 2 props in this game.
Jim?
My props are going to be really correlated on this. We have 2 of the best defenses in the league going head-to-head here. This is a sack, just smorgasbord. Both these guys can get pressure on the quarterback. Denver's leading the league right now with 30 sacks. What a number. And in a year that sacks are down across the league. More mobile quarterbacks, more dump-offs, more dick-and-dunk offenses. But these guys just seem to get there, both of these teams. Will Anderson is playing like the top draft pick that he was. So I'll be looking at all of these guys once the line's prop there. And to correlate it, I'm going to be looking at both quarterbacks' rushing yards. I think they're both going to be on the move with 2 offenses without really high-powered weapons. I think this is the week that we see Bo Nix start really leaning on his run. He's going to be under pressure. He's going to have to run. Right now, I'm seeing 23.5 for Bo Nix and 15.5 for C.J. Stroud. Stroud, not known as a big runner, but with that Denver pass rush bearing down on you, he's going to have to use his legs to create plays here. So I like both quarterbacks to go over.
That Stroud chart looks very appealing.
Yeah.
Very
You like
appealing.
that one?
Yeah.
That's
Look how many
a
times
real
he's
good
going.
one. It's really good.
15.5 is just way too low for that number.
Well, we always mention it. His offensive line is so poor that he's going to have to run through not even by choice. He's just going to have to. So,
mine kind of correlates with yours, Jim. I like C.J. Stroud under his passing yards. I talked about it last week. His number was way too low. Now it's too high. This is just a really good defense. And went over against San Fran, who had a patchwork defense, barely got over against Seattle, who's got a good defense. Barely goes over at Baltimore. That game was a blowout, and barely goes over against terrible Tennessee. And look what happened when, he couldn't go over against Tampa, but couldn't go over against Jacksonville, couldn't go over against LA. So I think this line's a little bit too inflated. This is 23 yards more than it was last week. I think it's a little bit too much of an overreaction. So I like C.J. Stroud under his passing yards. Up next, San Francisco 49ers and the New York Giants. Jim, anything you like in this game?
Well, I think we answered our question from last week. We spoke about the inspired play by the San Francisco defense, and then it didn't work out so well the second week. So it's kind of like it was what we expected originally with the loss of Warner. So going into this, we have no Cam Scatterboo for New York, so guess whose show it is again? The guy we talked about at the beginning of the season and just disappeared. We're back with Tracy here? Like it's the Tracy show, I guess. I don't know. I'm real curious to see what they do with the carries with Tracy and Singletary. I actually think the number on Singletary is going to be more appealing because of how low it is. And I wonder if this Cam Scatterbo injury puts a little thought into the Giants coaching staff about how much Jackson Dart is running the ball. You cannot afford to have your franchise quarterback be running at the pace that he is, taking the hits that he is. So I would look to go Jackson Dart under. I know it's scary because he could take off, but I'll be looking in some way, shape, or form on Tyrone Tracy in this spot. Receiving back out of the backfield when Scatterbo was the starter, he got a ton of run with receiving, and I believe that Tracy's a better receiving back, a better option going out from there. So that's where I'll be looking in this game. We got to wait for some injuries in this game. We're still waiting.
You got to say it right, Jim. Scatterbo.
I hear enough Scatterboos living in New Jersey. I'll save it for everyone else.
Corbin?
I'll save the McCaffrey for in a minute, but Wan'Dale Robinson over a 19.5 longest reception I've seen it at. 3 straight over and 6 of 8. We mentioned the 49ers defense is all kind of banged up. They're middle of the pack versus the run, but they're quite bad against the pass. 18.5, I love it even more. I think Dart's going to throw the ball more this week for the same reasons Jim just mentioned. He can't keep taking off. They don't have Scatterbo to rely on to run the ball. I think Tracy's going to struggle to run the ball as he has been previously, hence why he got replaced. So, yeah, I really like Wan'Dale Robinson in the longest reception. And then it's Christian McCaffrey. He lost by 0.5 last week on his receiving, which was utterly painful against that Texans defense, which they were watching for it instantly. I knew within the first quarter, every single time they went to pass it and McCaffrey came running past, they had one, if not 2 guys watching him. The Giants aren't going to be able to stop him in the same way. You can tell by the line. It was 43.5 last week. Landed on 43, and now it's up to 49.5. It's an easy comeback game to McCaffrey. Giants are 3rd worst versus the run, 7th worst versus the pass. I don't think they can stop anyone, especially Christian McCaffrey. I love this play.
See, I worry about. I mean, listen, he could do both, but the Giants are one of the worst rush defenses. I was looking at McCaffrey to go over. I mean, he hasn't even come close to this, but boy, the book's telling you a story or what here. And yeah, Corbin, you're right. The first possession San Fran had last week, like McCaffrey had somebody on him. The second, I was like, oh no, I'm actually surprised he got as close as he did.
He had one really big one towards the end, and then he got another one, I think, as well. Yeah, he's so close. So.
I wonder if they use McCaffrey as the running back. Now, they've struggled to run the ball all year, but this Giants rush defense is about as bad as it gets. So, other than that, I find this game hard. Who's playing for San Fran for sure? It's almost like the NBA. We got to wait till, what's Juwan Jennings going to look like? Like, Ricky Pearsall, I don't think is going to play. Who's going to be the quarterback for San Fran?
We don't even know.
We don't even know that. So props are pretty tough in this one. I would want to wait. I did think there's a potential that Brian Robinson over his rushing total could be really sneaky at 15.5 if they're really pounding the ball.
Great call.
If they're pounding.
See, I will mention, because I have bet this prop twice this year, and it's both the weeks that he lost. It was also 25.5 to start the season. So if you want to bet this prop, you can wait and bet it live, because McCaffrey always plays at least the first series, if not the first quarter. It's normally towards the middle kind of second quarter where Robinson has come in previously when I've watched it, and that was when his total started out at like 27 and 25 and it dropped down to 20 before he'd even touched the ball. So if it's 15.5, you could easily get it maybe come down to like 12 or 13, which could be great against such a rush defense. So.
I mean, yeah, this is not that many rush attempts to get there. I mean, look, if he's getting 9, 5, if he gets 5 against this defense, I like him to get over there. So Brian Robinson would be a way I would look at it. Oh boy, props galore in this one. You got 2 defenses that struggle. Corbin, I'll come to you first. I have a lot that I like in this game. Toughest part
Yeah.
about this one, toughest part of this one is narrowing it down. What do you
Well,
like?
I only have one really that I like, and it's Tyler Warren. Unsurprisingly, his total I think is in the mid 50s, but you can also take just 50 plus for like minus 130, a tiny bit extra juice. I probably would. 6 of 8, he's gone over 50. He's also getting the longest reception in all of these games, like 20 plus each game. He's having a great year. I just watched Tucker Craft annihilate this Steelers defense. I think it sets up beautifully for Tyler Warren to have 50 plus this game. I think he's going to have a touchdown. I think he's just going to have a great game all around. And then the prop I wanted to discuss was Jonnu Smith, actually. So we discussed the tight ends last week before the game against the Packers, and we mentioned Washington, Smith, and Freiermuth, and we said that Jonnu Smith was probably the least favorite of the three, and maybe look at his under. I want to consider his under receptions this week. So now he's 5 straight under 3.5. And Freiermuth is starting to pick up his receptions. He had 3 and 5 the last couple of weeks. His targets are up. Colts are third worst versus the pass, which is a concern. However, they're also the worst on the passing sets because they face so many more passes than every other team because of how far they've been ahead. But I think I don't know if I'm going to play it, but it's certainly an interesting debate to me whether they're moving slightly off Jonnu Smith, in which you can take an under into some of the other tight ends. So,
Jim?
Well, Jonnu Smith should never have been the number one target to start the season. I thought it was absolutely criminal that they just said, well, he's the best. Freiermuth is way better. Okay, maybe not as good as a blocker, but is Jonnu Smith known as a blocker? Not really. They have the 6'7" Washington to be a blocker. Why don't we get the young guy who's got young legs out there and keep Freiermuth involved? So I do believe that Freiermuth is going to emerge as the number one tight end. We have a dome team traveling after a big week by Jonathan Taylor. I agree with you with Warren. This sets up to just be a Tyler Warren day. What I love even more about it is Tyler Warren doesn't get in the end zone last week.
yeah.
I think there is a conscious effort to make Tyler Warren the focal point of this offense against the Steeler team who, like you said, made Tucker Kraft look like Kellen Winslow Sr. last week, a Hall of Fame tight end going. I love Tucker Kraft, but, I mean, he was just slicing through this old defense. And like I said at the beginning of the year, this defense is going to look old, and it's looking old and older each week. I think the Colts score a lot of points here. The Steelers are going to struggle to keep up. I'll be looking at also playing Aaron Rodgers to throw an interception live if the Colts get up. It's going to get to the point where it's just going to be Rodgers hurling it up to DK to try to make something happen if they're down late.
They really need to trade for another wide receiver to have any kind of chance for the rest of the year.
The only worst receiving core, again, it's not a week without me trashing my New York Jets, but the only worst receiving core is the New York Jets.
I was just going to say, I was writing my notes and I was like, we don't even have the Jets this week. Like,
It's a
Jim's
trade
happy.
We
And
can
he
still trash
He still
the
mentions
Jets.
it.
Jim, you mentioned it. Lobbed the ball up to DK Metcalf. The numbers don't back it up. I'm a Colts fan. This secondary is really exploitable. Big bodies are kryptonite. This should be a DK Metcalf showcase. Like, this should be the 9 receptions for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns game. It should just be throw it up to DK Metcalf. I did hear they said something. DK said something like he's not what he was used to. like he's just, even at his age, he's just a little bit too much wear and tear, so he's not quite as explosive. It doesn't matter against these cornerbacks. It should be a big DK Metcalf game. On top of that, I really like Aaron Rodgers over his passing total. Again, this is a Colts defense that you can throw on him. And yeah, Corbin, you found the same stat that I did, which is like the Colts face like an insane amount of pass attempts because they're up and the other team's just throwing. So if that game script does, play itself out, he's going to be throwing a lot. I like Rodgers to get over this number. I found it interesting. I don't even remember Aaron Rodgers having these long passes, but I would take his longest pass at 37.5. I just think this is a Steelers team that is going to be able to throw, and if there's one thing Rodgers can still do, it's know where the weakness is at in a defense, and can he exploit it? So
It must have been
I
through
would
Metcalf. Like, what's Metcalf's longest reception? You were mentioning you like him in the Colts secondary. It feels like Metcalf's always going to catch a
23
long.
and a half. Love that one. He's
Oh,
gone over
now
this.
that
Yeah,
looks.
now we're talking. Yes. What's his touchdown? Plus 112. You'd like to get a little bit better. It says you can get plus 140 on some other website. So that's if I'm the Steelers, that's who I'm taking. Also, quietly, a good prop that's kind of been hitting is Daniel Jones over 1.5 passing touchdowns and Jim touched on the Steelers' pass defense is awful. So this could be the Jonathan Taylor maybe doesn't score 3 touchdowns. Maybe this
I
is
think
a
it's
big
a
Daniel
letdown week
Jones.
for Taylor. I agree.
Yeah, he's not going to do it. They're going to have to give him at least a little breath. Like, you cannot keep this up the whole season. I mean, Saquon did it last year, but if you got playoff hopes, I think you got to give him a little rest here.
I will also say that Rodgers' 1+ pass and touchdown just continues to cash every week as well as a parlay piece. So
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, bunch of games in a row. All right,
yeah,
we moved to the Carolina Panthers and the Green Bay Packers. Jim, I'll start with you.
I'm going back to Tucker Kraft. I said at the beginning of the year, I understand all the targets that go to the wide receivers, but Tucker Kraft is the soul of this offense in the passing game. It's just every week. I feel like every week I turn on SportsCenter and there's a big play from Tucker Kraft where he gets up and gets in somebody's face and fires up the Packers fans. It's just, I love the way the guy plays. I think he's an absolute weapon. Now, that being said, he goes absolutely off last week in the passing game. So we're sitting at 60 plus, averaging 67. I don't know if I like so much the yards. I'd be looking at the touchdown here. Again, this Carolina defense can stop the run. I think it's going to have to be through the air. So if it's going to be through the air, you're really relying on a big play from Watson, who seems to be back, and Tucker Kraft, who's just that end zone target. I'll go back to Tucker Kraft for the touchdown. I'm also going to go back to our boy, Rashawn Gary, to get a sack, who is just nobody wants to talk about him because of Parsons, yet all the double teams are going to Parsons, and Gary, they're still lining Gary at half a sack. That plus money or even money, I will keep on playing that until they catch on because all the attention is going Micah Parsons' way. I think Carolina's in for a hurt in this game. Packers roll.
Corbin?
I actually struggle with the props in this game. I've got 2. Jordan Love over 10.5 rushing. It's one that I feel like you can just continue to play. He's over in 5 of the last 6. He didn't last week, so he didn't even have a run last week, which I find quite interesting. But Panthers defense is sneaky good, so I think he could have a couple of runs this week. And then Chuba Hubbard under 22.5. I'm quite interested in this because I feel like they're going to trade him. I feel like there is a very equal split so far with Rico Dowdle. Dowdle's had far more success than Chuba has. The Pack have the second best rush defense. And if they're actually considering trading Hubbard, then he should not play this game. There should be no reason to trot him out against this matchup and risk a potential injury and losing any kind of trade that they're going to get back in return for him. So that's where I'm looking.
Why would they trade Hubbard and not Dowdle? They paid Hubbard. Dowdle's probably
why.
That's probably why, because Dowdle's cheaper and doing way better the last.
Well, that's I mean I think more teams would be in. I think you could get a little bit more for Dowdle. Also, Hubbard's still banged up. I just watch him. He's not the same guy. His ankle's still sore. It's just one of the just don't play him. He's obviously not 100%. Why are you playing him?
And that's why you take under his rushing.
Yeah. I've kind of been impressed by Tet McMillan. He's been playing pretty good. That being said, I just can't quite get to the window. Corbin, I'm with you. This is really, really tough sledding.
See the problem? Yeah, go on.
I was just saying it's a really tough matchup. I don't know where the props are going to be coming from. I think this is a really hard game to figure out who's gonna have the production.
Yeah, like Jim said, I feel like we're going to throw the ball this week, but when we do that, there's so many options now that we have Watson, Dobbs, Kraft, Jacobson coming from the backfield, Golden. Like everyone is trying to get a piece of this action, and there's just too much to pick. And then on the other side of the ball, I'm not sure I could trust any Panthers related offensive props at the minute. So,
How do we feel about Watson?
I feel like if you're going to play Watson, you have to take his longest reception.
So you could take his longest reception. What's his longest reception lined at?
19 and a half. I pulled it up.
So his longest reception he's at 36 and a half yards. There was
It's too
two
low.
designed deep balls to Watson last week. I had a play personally on Watson, and I laddered him up as well, up to 50. And he ends up going for 85. And they are on deep balls. But, all right, he's back. I know you worry about injuries, but is this line just criminally low at 36?
I will say,
knowing they're going to throw?
Yeah, if he gets 3 or 4 receptions, he's flying over this total.
Yeah, I have him somewhere in the 50 to 60 range if he gets 4 targets. Just because of the style of routes that he runs.
Does feel pretty low.
That then goes back to the so many options that it could turn into the Dobbs week. Golden could be back for the problem for me is that Golden and Watson seem very similar. And I worry, like Golden got no action last week. Do all of Watson's actions suddenly go to Golden this week and it flip-flops between the two? That's my concern. But you are right. It is a criminally low total. So
yeah, this Packers offense could be really, really tough to figure out moving forward just because they have so many weapons. So.
It might be a Love passing touchdowns week as well. We didn't mention it, but if we're expecting him to pass the ball and the amount of weapons we just said, I could see him having a couple passing touchdowns.
They're on it.
Yes, it's juiced. It's juiced.
Okay. They pretend I said nothing.
Week 9 props pack is up. NFL's been very good to us. 8-4 last week. We're over 57%. Goal is 58% for the year, so we're doing really well. 65% the last 30 days. So you can grab that. And also we're running a special for NBA and NHL props combined. You can get that for only $69. It's a smoking deal. We really, really stress that when you're playing props, try us out for 7 days instead of just 1 day because we play a lot of the same guys over trying to catch those streaks. And if you're watching this on Friday, get it tonight. We got 4 prop sets up. That is a ton for us, but this is a big Friday with a lot of plays that are playable. So $69 gets you NBA plus NHL props. If you want NFL, the prop pack for week 9 is up. It includes all plays for Sunday and Monday. All right, let's move to the Vikings and the Lions. I call it a conspiracy theory. I don't know what it is. There's something stinks about this Vikings team. They're not telling us something about J.J. McCarthy. They sent poor Carson Wentz out there to die on a shoulder that, it looked painful, and then it needs season-ending surgery. I think this is a huge week for the Lions. I'm interested where you guys come in on this, but I'm like all aboard the Lions over, like Jared Goff overs, Gibbs over. By the way, if you saw Jahmyr Gibbs's Halloween outfit, it was absolutely fantastic. It was Jeff Hardy from wrestling.
Nice.
It was so good.
It was good.
It was really, really good. Yeah, I got Jared Goff overs. I have Amon-Ra overs. I have Jahmyr Gibbs over. I think this is an ass-kicking. Corbin, what do you think?
Oh, I'm right there with you. I think the money line for the Lions at minus 500 is a steal. Quite honestly, like I will be playing that. Same as you. Amon-Ra St. Brown over 6.5 receptions can also get. You can parlay 6+ and 50+ yards against the Vikings last year. He had 6, 7, and 8. He always has big games against them, like 100+ yards in some games. At home as well, I always mention St. Brown at home seems to do way better. Although the Vikings have the fourth best pass defense, I think the Lions have their number, especially at home. You just look at some of the head-to-heads, and it's like the Lions just own the Vikings at the minute. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, over 73.5, I think is great. I think he's one you can ladder for 100+. 13th worst rush defense. Gibbs has so much speed. I'm expecting them to be up. He's gone over this total in just 3 games this year, but when he has 91, 94, and 136, 136 coming last week, I think he has 100+ game this week. In the head-to-head last year, 116 and 139 rushing yards. It all just sets up for a great Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Lions overall week. So,
Jim?
I will concur. Amon-Ra St. Brown to score at home. Set it and forget it. When the Lions play at home, you play St. Brown to score. It's minus 115. It's not a great number, I know, but he just continues to score at home. It's what this man does.
All 3 games.
Yes.
You're right, all 3 games at home.
He's just an animal at home. That being said as well, I agree with Gibbs, but I think you have more value on Montgomery at 48.5. Now, the thing with Montgomery is he's not going to start. So you're going to wait to bet him live. You're going to get a better number on Montgomery no matter what happens with the Lions' first drive. Whether it's as long as he doesn't play a lot the first drive, you're going to get a better number on Montgomery. And this game could get so out of hand so fast with the Lions. We could be seeing a lot of run for Montgomery in the second half. They love to still use Gibbs, but like we said, we're getting to crunch time. You have to give these guys a breather. You got to give Jonathan Taylor a breather. You're going to have to give McCaffrey a breather at some point and let these other players take some snaps. Or once playoffs come around, we've seen before teams use up their best talent, and then they're right out the first round in the playoffs. So I'll be looking at Montgomery's rushing. I'll be tailing that St. Brown money.
Yeah, passing touchdowns, is it even remotely playable for
190. It's playable. 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
you have to park. But like Corbin's saying, Goff to throw through and.
Yeah, you could even play him.
Lions money
3 wouldn't surprise me, but then you got to worry about Gibbs rushing in. So I don't know. I like Jared Goff passing yards. I like Amon-Ra, and there's nothing I can do with this Minnesota team with J.J. McCarthy. I have no idea what's going to happen.
You could something. They clearly just don't rate McCarthy. Otherwise, he would have played by now. I feel like to trot out Wentz last week is a sign to me that he's either injured, but on the sideline when he's hurdling over people flying next to him, he didn't look particularly injured. I just think they aren't sold on him.
I think they're protecting him. I don't think it's so much a sold thing. Kevin O'Connell is a very smart coach. And the big elephant in the room that we're not talking about is this offensive line for Minnesota is bad. They are injured, and I don't think they were thinking they wanted to trot JJ out there and just get killed. Now, they had no problem sending Wentz out. It's like strapping a T-bone to his belt buckle and sending him out with a pack of wild dogs, the poor guy. That leads me to the one last thing I forgot to say is Aiden Hutchinson. We'll be looking at Aiden Hutchinson to get a sack in this game for sure. At home, crowd noise on his side. Guy has played great. I had questions about him going into this year. He's leading the league in pressures. I don't think JJ is ready for it.
Amen.
We move on to the Chargers and the Titans. To me, the Chargers have probably the most scary passing attack right now with all these weapons, with these wide receivers healthy and with that tight end. My God. That being said, Titans are just bad on defense with rushing, so I really like Kimani Vidal. It's a huge number, and you're like, really? We're going to take Kimani Vidal? Well, yeah, he's done it a couple times before. So he's got explosion, and he's one of those guys where, he's not great when he gets hit. He's not going to break a ton of tackles, but it's the Titans. They're probably not tackling him too much. So I think Vidal's going to have a big day. My sneaky play is everyone is, Quentin Johnston, odd man out. No catches last week. I think this is a perfect time to come right back to him. There's just not – all 4 guys aren't going to have big games. There's just going to be 1 or 2 left out, and I think this is kind of similar to the Packers where it just kind of rotates here. Don't be surprised if Tennessee is like, we're not letting that tight end beat us, and then Quentin Johnston's running wide open. This is a complete overreaction. If I'm wrong and Johnston, yeah, he's out, but this guy's really good. They used him a lot on go routes to get over the top. I think his role changes a little bit, and I love a bounce back spot. Is it that he's like apparently beloved in that locker room? Have you ever heard Herbert or Harbaugh talk about him? They love this guy. And Harbaugh is not the guy that's going to let a guy like this that he really likes go for 0 catches 2 weeks in a row. So I think it's a get right spot for Quentin Johnston. Corbin, what do you think?
I have 3 props. Gadsden over 48.5. A bit confused why this line isn't higher. So he's getting the targets, 8, 9, 5 targets. He's getting the yards, 68, 164, and 77. He's flying over this. I guess the concern is, as you mentioned, the Titans have the 5th worst rush defense, but they also have the 13th worst pass defense. So I think Gadsden could get there. Also looking at Spears over 16.5 receiving. Chargers defense is kind of middle of the pack against both pass and rush, so it doesn't really lean in a particular way. But he's getting 4 receptions, 23, 18, and 19 yards. He definitely seems to be the receiving back in this situation. We're all expecting the Titans to be down, I'm assuming. So I think just rinse and repeat Spears for the rest of the year. And then was also looking at Okonkwo over 29.5. Again, seems like a low total to me, over in 3 of the last 4. But again, it's hard to trust Ward to make a pass to anyone. So, yeah, keep going.
Jim?
I can't ignore Justin Herbert running the ball anymore.
Oh.
I just can't ignore it. I know it's a bad pass defense. I know it's a bad rush defense. I know that it could be up. But I think we just forget how athletic this guy really is for his size. When he takes off and runs, he could go for 20 real easily. And you know what I love about him? He slides. That's why he plays. He's learning to slide and not get killed. So, at 16.5, I'd like to buy it down to 15 at minus 133. I also would like to wait on rush attempts. I don't see any at this moment for Herbert. Do we have attempts?
They're gonna come out at 3.5.
3.5.
I love that.
That could be great because you also get the kneel downs
exactly
if you have
my
me
point.
at the end.
The kneel downs at the end. If we get 2 kneel downs, we're going to get 2 rushes from Herbert. Even if it's the QB sneak in at the goal line, we'll get those 2 rushes over. Look, let's fade Cam Ward. Again, the guy's just not ready yet. It's fine. Don't trash him. I think he's going to be a good player in this league. But we're going to go Cam Ward interception. And we're going to go Cam Ward to get sacked by Khalil Mack. Since Khalil Mack has come back off injury, they Robocopped his left arm, and he's golden. He looks great. So just keep with Khalil Mack at this point. At some point, he's going to get Ward down. He's not seeing the blitz. And if he is seeing the blitz, he's throwing the ball up to get intercepted. So don't really care what the lines are. This is something you set and forget, and you just fade the rookie quarterback his rookie season.
Corbin, you had a great play here. I completely forgot to mention Tyjae Spears. I was kind of found this Twitter this Twitter account that was doing the deep dive. Tyjae Spears is really eating into Pollard's workload.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, he's taking.
It's really starting. He's really starting to take a lot of the snap counts away. So great find on that one. Falcons and the Patriots. Corbin, coming to you first.
I hate the Atlanta Falcons so much. I will never understand how they have one of the best running backs, and then they just let the game float away from them. They're like, "Oh, we're not going to run him at the start. We're going to let it. We're going to wait. Oh, wait, we're down 3 scores now. Oh, we can't run the ball now." It's just a mess. I don't want anything. I mentioned the Falcons have the best pass defense somehow, but face the least attempts. I don't want anything to do with the Pats running backs to deal with that, quite honestly. So, yeah, I can't trust anything on either of these teams at the minute.
Well, okay, so according to this, Ramondre is out. I noticed he hadn't been practicing, so it looks like he's going to be out. And now you're seeing Travion Henderson with 60.5 rush yards. You can still grab it at 57.5 on BetMGM. So that's kind of interesting. What's his attempts? Oh, they have that's going to be an interesting one. He's going to be the last man standing in that backfield. So with Ramondre out, does that change anything, Corbin?
No, I don't want to trust Henderson, even if he is the only. Even if he's the only player on the field with no opposition, I still don't know if I want to trust him at the minute. So,
I think the Bijan play got nuked when Kirk Cousins was quarterback. I think the other team was just like, oh, hey,
You're not
they can't
gonna
throw.
beat us.
Yeah, they can't throw. We'll
But he
just
didn't
gotta
even
stop
try. He didn't even have the rush attempts to give it a go against one
I
of the
know.
worst rush defenses. It's not the first time they've done it to me this year. It's that I'm not getting burned for a third time.
Done it
So,
to you.
well,
Let's get Corbin.
I had Falcons on an alt plus spread of 7.5 on the 2 games that they get pumped by some rubbish teams. I can't do it. I hate this team so much.
It's the old, we're going to be trickier. You know what they think we're going to do? Let's do what they think, what we think they're going to do. And they'll think it, and then we'll be good.
Exactly.
These coaches, man, I don't know how they get their jobs. I really don't. What do I have? Okay, enough.
And then teams just fire their coaches thinking there's a bunch of gems out there. Yeah. It's like, you guys know you're just hiring the same guys, right?
Mm-hmm. Different avatar, same character. That's it. So with Stevenson out, I think it's a Drake May. I know it's a Drake May day. He's going to have to carry this team. They're at home. This is, again, a dome team. When it's getting colder, it's getting windier. We need to watch weather in this game as well, because now we're up in New England. Okay, Drake May 2+ passing touchdowns, -174. A little steep for my liking. You have to put it with something else to really get a nice playable number, but he continues to do it. This offense is just changing. This was a run-first offense last year. It is a pass-first offense now, and they are leaning into their fantastic quarterback. It pains me to say it as a Jet fan, but I love Drake May. I thought he was going to be a bust.
You support the Jets? Why haven't you
Unfortunately.
told us?
I might support the Patriots at some point. Who knows? I love Drake May. I love his game. I thought he was going to be an absolute bust out of college, North Carolina quarterback. When have we seen that script before? But he's got a great coach in place who is growing him accordingly. To me, this is another breakout game for Drake May. He just keeps on rolling. I like the Patriots big in this spot. I don't like dome teams going up to Foxborough this time of year.
Yeah, I can't really add anything. I'm waiting to see if Darnell Mooney plays. If he doesn't, then I'll look at Drake London. But I so want to take Bijan under his rushing. This is such a great rush defense. They barely allow. It's like they're like right at 50 yards per game to the lead running back. And yeah, I mean, Corbin, you said it. You can't do it against Miami. Now you're going to go on the road and
I'm telling you, they will come out and run the ball against the harder team now.
That's what I was just going to say. I was like, the reason I can't play it because this would be so Atlanta of them for Bijan to have 21 carries for 111 yards. Like, it would so be. What a sneaky ladder play this would be. Put him up to 100, and all of a sudden there he is just pounding the rock. So.
Well, it's like we say, if he has a good game, he's going over 100.
Yeah.
It's going to happen if he has a good game. He's not going to get 70. He's going to get 120 if he has.
It's going to get 30 or 100.
Yeah.
All right. A battle of two shitty rush defenses. I mean, oh, wait, DeAndre Swift is out? Oh.
He's out?
Kyle Monangai to the moon. Mm-hmm. Kyle Monangai to the moon. I will take him. This is the worst rush defense in the league. They give up 132, and now Kyle Monangai just doesn't have any competition. My God, he's going to get every single carry. And on the flip side, I think I got to go back to Chase Brown. It's terrifying if Flacco doesn't play.
Don't do it to yourself, Andy. Don't do it to yourself.
If Jake Browning plays, I probably lay off. But if it's Joe Flacco, then I'm going to again.
I thought
they have Flacco listed. They have Flacco stats up, so I'm thinking it's Flacco.
Okay, all right. We'll wait. I want to wait until Sunday morning. Forgive me if I don't trust the old quarterback to be okay in a couple days. So yeah, it's Chase Brown and it's Kyle Monangai now that DeAndre Swift is out. Corbin, what do you think?
I have two plays. One I'm hoping Jim will love. The first one, Ajunze over 23.5, longest reception. The Bengals can just get no pressure on any quarterback. Especially, I think Hendrickson, is he out this week or he was injured?
Doubtful.
Yeah, I don't see.
It doesn't matter if he's in or out. He was in last week. He looked horrible.
They're not getting any pressure. You give any quarterback time, and I expect them to fire to their number one target for over 23.5 yards. So I really like that play. And then to follow on to that, Bengals under 2.5 sacks. How is this number 2.5 sacks when a Bengals getting 3 sacks against anyone? So, yeah, I'm hoping Jim supports me on that. Jim?
Oh, Jim froze. All right. Well, we'll keep talking, Corbin. So
he was about to say that he loves my play.
He's like, I love this play. Yeah, you should bet your entire bankroll on. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what he said. so, yeah, the longest reception is interesting. Bears really, really banged up on defense, or I'm sorry, on offense. All of these wide receivers were in trouble. So I was looking at. Where's my rushing yards? I actually kind of like Caleb Williams to rush ball a little bit more this week. He had 4 games where he went way under, but they got problems now with DeAndre Swift that's out, so I like this play even more now. It's at 18.5, so I think we'll roll with Caleb Williams over his rushing. So
yeah, I was just checking. Hendrickson hasn't practiced all week. Says he's doubtful.
He's not going to play.
He's not going to play. And then, interestingly, I haven't seen this happen before. Flacco didn't practice on Wednesday, light practiced on Thursday, and then didn't practice on Friday again. And now he's listed as questionable. I imagine he tried on Thursday and it didn't go particularly well, and that's why he then sat out Friday. I can't imagine him playing either. So,
yeah, you got to wait and see. I mean, literally, I can't believe we're saying this in 2025. But this Bengals offense depends on Joe Flacco. Everything depends on Joe Flacco.
It does.
Absolutely terrifying. All right, we got the Jaguars and the Raiders. What do you like in this one?
What did I have? I have, well, both are better versus the run than the pass. So if they're throwing the ball, there's one thing correlated to throwing the ball, and that's Geno Smith to throw an interception. All games except 2. He's just so erratic with the football. If he's putting it up there, throwing the ball, he's going to throw an interception. I would love to know what the price is to ladder him up to have more than 1 interception, because I think it's going to be a train wreck. The Jags also have the second most interceptions on defense. It's like the worst matchup possible for one of the most. He has the most interceptions in the league, I'm pretty sure. So, and then also correlated to that, Trey Tucker over 40.5. He's only gone over in 4 games, but he's getting the targets. 4.55 receptions in the last 3 games. It's kind of a low total. I don't know if you take the receptions or take the yards, maybe the receptions. But to me, if you're going to take anything, it's the Geno Smith interception. So.
This Trevor Lawrence number is really high, and now they're going to be without Travis Hunter. Who knows what's going on with Brian Thomas? You never know from week to week, but I wanted to take his over because it just feels way too low at 229.5, and then it's like, well, who are they throwing to? And yeah, you don't really know. I think this Raiders team is really bad, so I'm going to go with Travis Etienne to get over his rushing total. They've played some really good defenses, and he hasn't gone over. I mean, 44, 27, and 49, but you're playing the Chiefs. You're playing, Seattle. This is a really, really good get-right spot for Travis Etienne, and you're getting the benefit of a pretty low number just because of what his past performance has been. I mean, look who he's had to play where he's gone under. Houston, that defense is awesome. Yeah. Kansas City, Seattle, and then he's played Carolina and San Francisco, and gone way over. Went way over against Cincinnati.
I think that's a great look.
Yeah, we'll go with Etienne as the only look on that one. Oh, man, the Saints and the Rams. Oh, Saints. What do they say when you have 2 quarterbacks? You have none. We're just going to try this quarterback. We're going to try that quarterback.
Just keep changing it. Eventually, just hope for something to happen. I'm telling you what, I'm loving my Saints under win totals, for damn sure.
Yeah. Those are good. Welcome back, Jim. You're just in time. We're talking Saints and Rams. Corbin,
I only have one play, so I can get this over and done pretty quick. Saints under 90.5 rushing yards as a team. Again, who is running the ball for this team? No Miller, Kamara's slow. He hasn't got it going at all this year. They're going to be playing from behind. Rams are ninth best versus the run. I'm kicking myself. I didn't 5% the Saints rushing total last week versus the Bucks. I am not going to make the mistake this week. The Rams are going to stop the run, and I don't see a hope for this team at all. So,
Jim?
Well, they got my boy Kyron Williams at -175. Hate the number. Just play Kyron to score and the Rams to win. Play it. Just play it. The Rams are going to destroy this team. The quarterback change makes no sense to me. I don't understand why you don't just give it to Rattler and just roll with it. Sneaky play. If I believe that the Rams are going to be as dominant as they are, Blake Corum's sitting there at +265. Garbage time? If it really gets at it, isn't this your chance to give Kyron a break? Give Corum some run here? I know he's not really in favor with the coaching staff right now, but at some point you got to give these guys a break. So I would be looking at both of them. We'll see where it goes from there.
All right, Jim, check the audio on your end. Turn your volume up on your end. I don't really have anything else to add to this. It's kind of I actually almost wonder if Matthew Stafford doesn't go over his passing yards because it's like such an ass kicking. And yeah. I think the under the pass yards might actually be a good play. He's only at 182 and 181. And listen, Matthew Stafford's no spring chicken. If you get a chance to not put any miles on your older quarterback, yeah, let's run Blake Corum and Kyron Williams in the ground. Do we have a rush attempts total for Corum?
We did. I looked at all. They have definitely factored in the on the rushing side. The number is inflated this week on the rush yards for Corum.
Okay, rush attempts is 7.5. That's interesting. He had 12.
Yeah, that might be the better way to take it. Or take it live, because if he doesn't play much in the first half, then we head to the second half and you can get a much lower total. So
correct.
All right.
Louder now.
Ooh, big one.
Oh, that's way better, Jim.
Never sounded better, Jim.
Beautiful.
I come to you first. Some game. Chiefs, Bills, the annual tradition. What do you like, Jim?
Biggest game of the week. What do we do when there's a big game and everybody has strong opinions? I don't like a lot of props.
Get drunk and watch the game.
Yeah, everything, right? I know it all. I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm not really interested in playing a whole lot of props in this game. These teams have seen each other a bunch. There's really nothing jumping off the page for me.
Ooh.
So I'm going to be a complete pass. The only thing I would think about would be James Cook, but I don't know. I can't get there. What do you guys have?
Do you want me to go, Andy, or you got it?
Favorite. I'll go first. I mean, this Juju Smith-Schuster.
No, he stole it.
Please. I just.
Damn it.
Yeah, come on. You didn't think this one was going to get by me, did you? They just keep leaving this 12.5 number out. He's had and look at his longest receptions. This guy's going over with one catch. Mm-hmm. So you can take longest reception at 9.5. You can take over 12.5. I believe they even have his reception still at 1.5 at plus money. Now he doesn't get a ton of targets, but he's catching all of them. But I would go right to his longest reception and his receiving yards. This is just that's his reception. This is receiving. There you go. His longest reception and receiving yards. This just screams play me. Like, oh, I know Worthy, I know Kelsey, I know like Rice. Mm-hmm. Juju's there for good, just a couple catches, wide open. They forget about him and they lose him. So that may be all I need in this one, Corbin. I may not need to play anything else. What do you think?
Well, that was my favorite play, but then I'm gonna whisper something. Is Noah Gray back? Is Noah Gray finally returning?
Oh, is he back? Oh,
I've been waiting.
Oh, okay.
Corbin, I've been waiting. I hope.
I have a 9.5 receiving total. 23, 28, and 25. He can get this in one catch. He's had 2 catches in 2 of the last 3. If he has 2 catches, he is going over 9.5 yards. I'm telling you that. So yeah, they were my 2 sneaky plays, and then it's a primetime game against Kansas City. There's one man that is going to want that camera on him. and he hasn't got as many rushing touchdowns this year. He rushed for 2 pointless ones last week to re-emphasize my point when they were up by like 30 points, and he was like, "Yeah, I haven't had the camera on me enough." So Josh Allen to have a touchdown in their biggest rivalry game of the year. He had one in the regular season versus the Chiefs last year. He's going to find a way to get the spotlight on him.
Here's your
great.
primetime big game parlay, right? The Josh Allen, greedy Josh Allen parlay is Josh Allen to score, Patrick Mahomes to score, plus 800. There you go.
Now we're talking.
Battle
good
of the
one.
attention hogs in the NFL.
Good
there
one.
There you go.
I
love both of your props, let me just say, because the fact that it is the biggest game and these are criminally low numbers.
We picked the
Everybody's
two
gonna
lowest
win.
receiving totals in the
that's
big
what you
Yeah.
have to
game.
do, though. But that's what you have to do in these big games. It's great. It's great.
I do have to bring up the Bills continue to be banged up. They lost another guy last week. Poor guy comes back immediately, gets hurt. And now it's the Kareem Hunt show, and this is the 31st rush defense. I know the numbers say, well, Kareem hasn't gotten over there. It's going to be him and Brashard Smith, and I feel like do they have any Brashard Smith props up? I feel like okay, they have a receiving. I feel like Brashard Smith is a new hipster prop.
Oh, it
Like,
is.
where everyone is like, I'm going to be sneaky and talk about Brashard Smith. And then you like get on social media and everybody's bringing up Brashard Smith and you're not the like smartest guy. Yeah. So I feel like everyone's going to go to Brashard Smith and just forget that Kareem Hunt's the guy they trust and the one that's going to be getting the carries. So I think you got to look at a starting running back against the Bills. So last game
Corbin, real quick, Andy.
Yes.
Corbin, you've been in on the Xavier Worthy rushing.
I have.
So
he didn't get a single rush last game.
What's that?
He didn't have a single rushing attempt last game, but it has been great.
Well, if we're looking at the backfield that Andy's proposing, I would think that you have at least 2 design plays for Xavier Worthy.
I was just in the rushing props. If you give me half,
I don't see any on.
I don't see him on
over
you
3.5.
might have it on Bet3.
Over 3.5, 13, 6, 9, 38, and obviously the 0 that he just had were his last totals. So it's one that I wasn't planning on coming back to it, but I probably should not get put off that he didn't run last week. It probably sets up, if anything, for an opportunity this week. So,
all right, move on to Seattle and Washington. Corbin, you want to get us started with something about JSN?
Yeah, we all know where Corbin's going. It's Jackson Smith and Jigba over his longest reception. I don't care what the number is. I'm just going to keep playing it.
What if it's 101 yards? Would you
still? He'll find a way. He will run around the stadium a couple of times. He'll find a way. Commander's 5th worst pass defense, and you're giving me the hottest wide receiver out there. He's flying. He is absolute. Yes, take it. Ladder is yards up, like 120 plus. He's going to have a great game again. So,
his yards have been hitting. His reception. Oh, wow, they got his number at 7.5.
Yeah, I wouldn't take his receptions. I would go receiving yards or longest, or play both of them. So I forgot. I did have one other play. It's Jeremy McNichols over 16.5 receiving. 3 straight. I'm expecting them to be playing from behind here. He's definitely the receiving back, and I like these productions when it like upticks for like 2 or 3 weeks, and you can see it, and the books don't quite catch on. I think this total is still too low. So,
Jim,
I keep going back to Luke McCaffrey. 23.5 is. I think we might be able to get a better number of that, but I'm seeing 23.5. Oh, never mind. Okay.
Moving up. Yeah, with
23
McLaurin
out.
Look at his longest
right
reception.
Now, so. What's that?
I said, look at his longest. If he's catching anything, it's going to be over 15.5 longest.
I'm wondering that that's a good way to look at it. I'm wondering if we're just going to see more involvement. It gets to a point, and Dan Quinn's a smart coach, where you see these guys making plays, like the play he made on the sideline last week. Debo's Debo. He's going to be what he's going to be. We have the return of Daniels. We should be a little bit more dynamic. So really, who's the young threat? in the receiving core. It's McCaffrey. I think you have to involve this kid more. I know it was a bit of a commodity when he was drafted. It's his brother, but the guy has proven to be a very serviceable player in the NFL. So I'll take the low number on McCaffrey here, and like you said, he could get there with one catch. But they're going to have to spread the ball around, and they're going to have to score points against this Seattle team. I think Seattle's going to score points. We should see a lot of run in the passing game here from Daniels on his return.
Give me Krosky Merritt under 43.5 rushing total. It's not working. He's not finding the holes, or the offensive line isn't blocking, and this is a really, really good Seattle defense. I don't know what happened. He had that one huge game against the Chargers, and then it did not happen for him against the Bears, and it really didn't happen for him against the Cowboys and against the Chiefs. I'm upset I didn't have that as a client play last week, but Merritt is just it's not working. And then I really don't know what to do else with this Washington offense. Jane Daniels is going to play, but it's a hamstring. Like any tweak, and all of a sudden he's out, and you're left holding the bag. And I'm with you, Corbin. JSN's like the only guy that you can play. Like, you never know what they're going to do week to week with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. So that gets really, really frustrating as well. So it's about all I can do with that one. So any thoughts on Cardinals, Cowboys, Corbin?
Nope.
Jim?
Fade that Cowboys defense. However you can do it,
defense.
Make sure you fade that Cowboys defense. Just continue with that. A Bam Knight at 52.5. Like, ooh, that's a high number. But, man, this Cowboys defense is just bad, man. Bad as long. Look at that. 52.5 is where we're at here. I've seen
he technically got over against Green Bay.
Yeah, it's just this
He could do it
Cowboys
again.
defense is so bad. I can't believe I'm betting on Bam Knight in 2025. This was a practice squad guy 3 years ago. He came out of nowhere, and now he's the starting running back. Come on.
Yeah.
But whoever's touching the ball for Arizona is gonna do well against the Cowboys.
All right, I got nothing on Monday Night Football. Dive deep into that game, and we'll announce those plays on Monday. But Week 9 props pack is up. We also have that special for NBA and NHL. $69 get you 7 days. Those are really, really big. We're off to a really good start this week in the props market, and we're coming off an 8-4 week in NFL. Let's make it another big week. Hit the like button. Please leave us a comment. Tell us what your best prop is in the comment section below. Good luck on your plays this weekend. Take care.
Good luck.
Happy Halloween.